The Enclave, as popular as they are commonly thought of as the main bad guys of the Fallout series. They are associated with being fascist and genocidal. But what is the Enclave really? Is it the failed idea of men who died hundreds of years ago? Is it the pale old isolationists on an oil rig who claim to be the government? Or is it something we haven't seen yet? Something lurking in the ruins of the former United States? Most people would likely say the second one. This is definitely where most of the arguments against the Enclave come from. In this video, I intend to make apparent the reasons that the Enclave can't be summarized by this. The best place to start this journey is at the start of the nuclear apocalypse, or rather just before it, 2077. The Enclave, whether it existed at this point or it's just a remnant of the government from this time, either way, from various canon and semi-canon sources, we can determine there was a plan, a protocol, set in place to ensure that in the result of an extinction level event, the government would be able to re-establish society after this event. I already made a video about this entire plan, so if you want more context, then check that out. To summarize, the plan involved multiple government installations working together for the rebuilding of America. Due to the nature of the secrecy of the government, there's bound to be more installations that we don't yet know about. The purposes of the ones we do know about are as follows. The Poseidon Oil Rig. This would be where the leadership was located. They would coordinate the rebuilding project from here. The White Springs would act as the heart of the operation, being located in Appalachia, one of the best regions for rebuilding. It would also be accompanied by 3 missile silos for continued use against China, as well as Vault 79. This stands out from other vaults as it housed the entirety of America's gold reserves for rebuilding the economy after the war. Then the rest we know about are relay stations, meant for long-range communication. One of these included Raven Rock, which was also a reserve bunker in the case that the oil rig was unavailable. I went over how this plan failed in yet another video, but the gist of it is, the communication systems failed and each installation was left isolated. So what happened after all of them lost communication? For the relay stations, we don't know. Their long-range communication systems may be offline, but the stations themselves could still be operational. The White Springs, after Eckhart had purged the bunker of almost everyone except for the few who wanted to continue the war, he did at least attempt to complete part of the plan, in that he wanted to nuke China. However, he ended up creating the Scorched Beasts and releasing multiple threats into Appalachia just to do this, which prompted General Santiago to start a rebellion. However, the entirety of the bunker ended up dying to poisonous gas after the containment was breached. So what about the last installation we know of? It took a while to get here, but we're at the oil rig. Control Station Enclave, the high command of the remaining government. From the nature of their job, it would seem unlikely that they would leave the oil rig much, even if the plan was working perfectly. Since it wasn't going as planned and communication had failed, they decided instead of venturing out and attempting reconnection, they stayed on the oil rig, leaving the rest of the Enclave and the world to burn. Fast forward around 160 years of complete isolation, the Enclave on the oil rig has been radicalized against everyone on the surface by the new president, Dick Richardson. Now, they've devised a plan to kill every humanoid creature on the planet. This will be achieved by modifying the forced evolutionary virus into an airborne toxin. The creation of this toxin is comically evil. Rather than developing even one that only kills people exposed to radiation, it kills everything humanoid. The only way to avoid dying from it is to be inoculated, which all of the Enclave staff were. Even if you were completely free of radiation, like from a vault, you would still die from the toxin. In fact, you would die much slower and more painfully the less radiation you had been exposed to. So this means that not only would they commit genocide on the mutated wastelanders, they would also damn every pure human that isn't them to a slow, painful death. This would include every single vault and every single remaining Enclave bunker. I've already explained multiple times that the leadership here is to blame, and really Fallout 2's Enclave is a parody of modern politics and the trustworthiness of politicians. The Enclave in Fallout 3, while stemming from the oil rig, they were close to the beginning of the Enclave's original plan. Unfortunately, they still followed the new president, John Henry Eden, which would ultimately lead to their defeat. Every Enclave division we've encountered has been led astray by the leadership. However, with the Capital Division and the Enclave Division in the Appalachian Mountains, there was open rebellion by the end of their respective stories. While the oil rig, there may have been doubt and unwillingness to carry out the orders from the president, but out of a sense of duty or out of fear of punishment, most still followed those orders. They may have been part of the Enclave once, but the subsequent inaction while the rest of the Enclave fell apart, and then the attempt to kill any remaining Enclave groups, would leave the oil rig as being the Enclave in name only. They betrayed the cause, and they betrayed the people of the Enclave and America. The future of the Enclave may be uncertain, but it's far better than this stain on the Enclave's history. So it's been about a month since I last uploaded, but now I am back with a slightly shorter video than normal. But then again, what is normal for me? I am going to try to stick to a 1 video per 2-week upload schedule. I might do more, I might do less. We'll see. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed my content.